Welcome to this coffee lecture, and I will already start with today's topic. So we are talking about REDCap, how you can use it to set up your own research database and as well to organize online surveys in the tool. So REDCap stands for Research Electronic Data Capture, and it is a web-based clinical data management system that was developed by the Vanderbilt University in 2004. And as the name already says, it was developed mainly for the purpose of clinical research, but as it is just a data management system, it can also be used for all other research projects. And that's what we are also going to talk about today. So the online tool, REDCap, should support your research while creating databases and online surveys in a secure environment. It should help you monitor your research data and your research projects, and it should be easy for you to share your data with other project partners or collaborators. And you can see on the right side a picture from REDCap itself. There you can see which institutes from universities all over the world are already using REDCap. And you see that there are a lot of red dots. So many institutes and licenses are used at the moment. So it makes it really easy when a lot of researchers are using the same system for sharing data and also for data analysis and comparisons. We developed a project last year for a centralized REDCap installation here at the University of Bern. It was a collaboration between the IT department from the university and DCR. And mainly we wanted to promote the community building for Bernese researchers and as well reduce the number of existing REDCap installations in different institutes and faculties. We wanted to have like just one installation that is maintained by the same people or like the same department, and also therefore we would have like standardized system documentation and standardized procedures in using the same system. It was also a very big point for us to reduce the number of data collections or in general the procedures of data collections by using Excel or other survey tools that most likely are not always following the local regulations and laws for data collection. So why should you use REDCap for your research? I already said that it's used for the setup of databases and data collection for research data in a secure environment. Therefore, it's also suitable for collecting sensitive data or identifying data, for example, health data. And it's possible to merge like data collection in the system itself and online surveys together. And I also already mentioned that with REDCap, it's very easy to share data among project partners or also to collect research data for the same purpose in different areas of the world, for example, or in different areas of a country. The advantage of REDCap is that you have a secure login from any device, so you can use your phone or you can also use the computer for entering data into the databases. REDCap is very flexible and has a very user-friendly interface, so it's easy to learn for you to set up your own databases. Then I said that you can integrate a survey tool in REDCap itself. And it's very easy to later on export your data into other statistical programs. So REDCap supports the export of various data formats that you can later analyze your research data. You can create simple reports and you can monitor your research data very easily as well. And one of the main advantages is that you have in-house support from the Department of Clinical Research, and that for all researchers from the University of Bern or as well Inselspital, the basic package from REDCap is free to use. So here you can see a common project lifecycle in REDCap. So we recommend that you attend one of the training courses where you can learn the most basic functions about REDCap yourself. These training sessions last about 2 hours and are held monthly in our department. Then you would get access to your own database where you can start implementing and set up the database structure and then test your database. After that, we would approve your database and it's going live, so you can start your data collection, and then you can also start monitoring the data entry in the database. Afterwards, you would end data collection, you would export your data and start your analysis. And in that sense, we would then close the database and lock it so that no more data can be entered there. And finally, you should publish your research results or your data in a research data repository. And I just want to mention here as well that you should always be aware of data management in general, and Olga will later explain a little bit more in detail about the data management plan, and this should go in or should align with all those steps of a project lifecycle. So the data management, it's not just only in the beginning of the project, but it's also covering all the aspects from database setup until publishing your data. So we from the Department of Clinical Research have different service options. I was already mentioning that the basic REDCap package is free of charge for all researchers, so you will get access to REDCap itself. And you will also get access to the REDCap community, which is a community platform maintained by us, where you can find various manuals, templates, and FAQs, and a discussion forum where we want you as a researcher to get connected with other people that are using REDCap here in Bern. You can discuss your studies or your research projects, or you can ask questions specifically about REDCap or how to implement some things in your database. As I also already mentioned, we have the monthly REDCap courses. They are held in German and English, and you can apply with the links provided in this coffee lecture. And as I also already mentioned, the system itself is maintained by the data management team of the DCR and the IT department of Uni Bern. On the right side, there are some additional services that we can provide. Firstly, there is a so-called technical database review, which means that we check your database and align it with our standards. And if you have other specific questions during database implementation or regarding your REDCap project, then we can also provide you with other support, which is very specified to your own project. And those services need to be agreed on in a costing, and there is a contract, and we would provide it upon a fee. Then I will hand over to Olga.
Yes, so that I will give you an overview what else to consider when you are performing REDCap project. And for REDCap projects with non-clinical data, a data management plan must be submitted to the data steward team before data collection. It's good to think about it before you start with the project. For REDCap project with clinical data, which falls under the Human Research Act, a data management plan is not a mandatory to submit, but should be available according to the good clinical and scientific practices. If personal data will be collected, please ensure that subjects are informed about data collection, research purpose, data sharing, and data publication, as well as duration of data storage and data destruction. It is necessary to mention what data management system will be used for data collection and data monitoring. How will data management system be secured and how you will provide access to the system. What research data will be collected in your REDCap project? Provide the number of data like subjects, forms, and variables. And personal data, we are well know that are subject to data protection regulation. Therefore, data should be treated accordingly. Under the data collection step, it is necessary to mention when it's already during the project. And it is necessary to mention what kind of data you are planning to collect. Personal data or sensitive personal data, for example, name, date of birth, postal addresses, contact phones, email addresses, or any unique identifiers, and also data collection like GPS, genetic data, or biometric data, or others should be specified so that everything is written in the template form, which we will provide later on. If sensitive personal data will be collected on REDCap, then it should be also mentioned, for example, year of the birth, ethnicity, economic financial data, or online identifiers, for example, IP address data or nationality. For data access, it is important to consider who will have access to the data within REDCap and what permissions they will need, with whom data will be shared within the outgoing project, like a collaborator who has also access to the REDCap, and data storage for identify all locations where data will be stored after export from the REDCap, and indicate for which location and each location where it will be used to store this information. However, please also take into account that REDCap is not a storage platform, but data should be exported and stored securely after end of the project. Please think about this storage space in advance before your project ends. Data and code should be also published in the research data repository of your choice to comply with funding agency's requirement. If data cannot be published due to legal or security issues, then metadata information should be publicly available. If any other limitations due to data protection, this should be also mentioned in the data management plan. Please consider also long-term preservation for 20 years for clinical research and 10 years for non-clinical research. There are templates available and can be downloaded from the link provided on this site, so that there is a REDCap community and you can easily find these templates. And finally, to get the support, the data steward team at the Open Science team at the University Library supports researchers with data management plan design and review for non-clinical research and publishing research data and research outputs across all disciplines at the University of Bern and Insel Hospital. For more details, please get in touch with us. Here's our information so that please get in touch with us. And thank you for your attention and happy to take questions.